Welcome to Beer Money Pulling Team. Sit down, shut up, and hang on.
Looks like Art's just about ready. He'll let our starter know exactly when he's ready to go. There we go. Now you start to see the power of the turbines come alive. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, runway 29er, we present Mr. Art Arfons and the Green Monster. Oh, yeah! Go for it, bub. How about at Louisville, Kentucky? Let's give Art Arfons a nice round of applause. At a land speed record. He's actually in the Hall of Fame of Motorsports. Art Arfons, but Dusty out of Akron, Ohio. And there's the legend walking down the track. Now watch here. She's going to rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock, roll, rock, roll. Here we go. Oh, yeah. She gets those turbines fired up. She goes rocking and rolling now. Well, she gets down to serious business. Now listen to the wheel spin on this tractor when she leaves the starting line. You'll hear those big whistle and pop, and watch those tires that these turbines put out the fire. That, ladies and gentlemen. Man, oh man, right there. Now I want all you ladies in the audience to stand up and let's give this gal a cheer. What do you say, huh? Come on, gals. What do you say? How about it? Dusty Arfons, obviously a full pull right here. The first one to put it in the sand tonight, folks. Dusty Arfons. Great run.
Well, Judy, you got your wish. Here it comes, the Green Monster.
Yep. Tim Arfons is driving the Green Monster. He's from Akron, Ohio, and his father is the famous Art Arfons of the legendary Green Monster fame.
Well, they just fired it. Look at the fire just come out of this. You want to roast some marshmallows?
It looks like the 4th of July.
The Green Monster, Tim Arfons, ready to make his pull. The pull that he has to beat is over 173 feet, so it's going to be tough. Here he goes. He's got it up in the air, but not by much.
Well, he's got to practically do a full pull in order to win.
Wouldn't it be great to see a full pull with this jet-powered machine? We may just have it here. Look at it. He's still going. Awfully close to a full pull. Judy, that was a good run. Hear the noise from the jet? Sounds like we're landing here in Detroit. 174.5.
Hello, everybody. Doug, is that you that's loud? Is there a lot of background noise right now, Doug?
Right now, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to mute you for just a second. Well, no, it doesn't come on. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Let's Go Pulling Live. This is like a dream come true. I want to thank Charles Posch. We have Tim Arfons in the upper right corner, Dusty Arfons in the middle left, and yes, those are Arfons' kids. I can't believe this. This is like the coolest thing that's ever happened to us. Hope Bindle there is walking around SEMA. We're kind of showing off some video right there. Doug Borth, our general manager of the Beer Money Pulling Team. Scotty Too Hottie Baubie, Scott, what's your official title at Champion Oil? Are you the VP or Director of Marketing? I know you're a big deal. So,
well, let's not go too far, but it's Director of Motorsports.
okay. And then we got Cody Vanderholm down there, Vanderholm Media, and Ryan Rusink must be petting his cats because his screen is dark. So, not sure what's going on there. But we're going to start with SEMA, and then we're going to get into Tim and Dusty. Tim and Dusty came on early with us, but Doug, the beer money pulling teams in Vegas with Champion Oil, is SEMA everything that it's? I don't know. I mean, I've never been there. You got to tell me what's going on.
And more. Some of the stuff is crazy that's here. We were outside for a couple hours. They have all the built trucks, and they're almost monster trucks, and it's nuts. And they're street trucks.
So what does SEMA stand for, Scott? What's it all about? Because I kind of know what PRI is about, but I'm not sure what SEMA is all about.
That's a great question. So it's Specialty Equipment Market Association. So basically, in a nutshell, summarize, it's anything and everything aftermarket. Excuse me, from cars to lift kits, turbos, tires, waxes, lubricants, oils, anything that's related to a high performance vehicle or street classic car, you name it, they have it.
So what is with you with being a champion, what's your goal out there by having a booth at SEMA, Scott? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah, it's a good question. So this show is a little different than PRI. So PRI is owned by the same management group here, so that's strictly racing. This show is basically a vendor show. People come here looking for, basically aftermarket parts. So for me, we're looking to drum up some new business as far as master distributors come on board. We'll talk some sponsor stuff. There's different outfits here as well. So we're, obviously looking for marketing partnerships as well.
Explain your relationship with Shelby.
So Shelby, we have a car, which maybe when Hope comes back, we'll get a better picture of the car. But Shelby America is one of our good accounts. So all Shelby's come through Las Vegas, their headquarters. It's Shelby's Ford, of course, but Shelby American actually makes them into the high performance, Shelby tag. So we have that account. They're great marketing partners, but they factory fill tier 1 with our modern muscle engine oil or motor oil. So great relationship. They bring a car over for our booth, and it's just worked out well over the years for both companies, really.
So did that Top Fuel car just come over from the drag strip?
I believe so. That's PRI's booth, and that was not there at 2:00. And when we came back and actually we chatted with Michelle, confirmed our place at PRI today, and that was there when we got back at about 5:00.
That's awesome.
It's Clay Milliken's car from this weekend.
Wow. That is cool. That is cool. If you're just joining us, Let's Grow Pulling Live Monday night. We do have Tim and Dusty Arfons with us. We're going to talk to them after we wrap up our preview of SEMA with Champion Oil. What the heck is that thing, Charles?
I have no idea.
That thing is cool.
Yeah, that's a cool piece. Keep it in perspective, too. This is a $44.6 billion industry.
Yeah, so people are showing off a little bit, Scott.
Yeah, definitely. It's all you have to be here. If your competitors are here, you need to be here.
Wow. I know Ring Brothers are out there, and I live right down the road from them. I know they do a lot of custom car builds and truck builds for people.
We saw the 48 Chevy today. It's under a cover now, but that thing is amazing. So it's a 48 Chevy body on top of it looks like a NASCAR body, or it's a race car. It's got big wide slicks on it all the way around, and thing's crazy.
Yeah, it's a cool piece.
So Charles or Scott or Ryan that would know, who's out there that would be kind of like represent the pulling and like the truck and tractor pulling side of our world?
Well, Doug Borth, of course.
Well, of course. Of course, the beer money pulling team's there, yeah.
Yeah. So, but well, you got
the Kesters are there.
Yeah.
Kesters are here. We saw the
Kesters have their mods.
outside.
That's it. We walked the whole show. That's about it.
The next closest would be the Pro Chargers, and you know what NTPA did to that. So,
yeah,
it's a wide open opportunity, definitely for beer money pulling and the remedy here for sure.
That's awesome.
Talk with PRI, Doug and I, and Hope talking to them a little bit just a few minutes ago, and they're all hopped up. They want to be involved with the truck and tractor pulling big time. So the opportunity is there. We just baby steps. I think next year will be a different story.
They built a new display this year. PRI did, and in one corner they have a picture of Tabitha Demers on there from Bowling Green. The Smoking Hot Deer is in there, like their display. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I noticed they've been posting a lot of videos from Bowling Green, for sure, definitely about SEMA and different things like that. Charles, from your racing world, who's out there that you know of?
I'll be honest, not a whole lot, really, from the pulling side. There's a few out there from the drag racing world, but really, I think our target market, honestly, is more, I think, PRI in terms of the hardcore hard parts. This show, you're going to see, as mentioned, a lot of representation from the lubricant manufacturers and some of the accessory stuff. But like hardcore chassis and hard parts, kind of more PRI thing come December.
Gotcha, and that makes sense.
The cool thing I saw today is there's a company here that you can buy a chassis for either a Blazer or from 1973 to 1980 Chevy half-ton pickup or a Blazer with a modern, everything, new motor, powertrain and everything, and then go in and buy all your body parts and have a brand new 1980 Chevrolet pickup.
Wow. So this must be setup day, because obviously there wouldn't be all that stuff laying around. Are they? Right. So the show must start tomorrow, guys?
It does. Yeah, the show's Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5. So they'll get, obviously, the aisles that you see concrete. That'll all be nice carpet tomorrow morning, different stuff. And there's that Ring Brothers.
There's the Ring Brothers car right there.
Okay. So they do like an unveil or whatever?
I would guess they will be. Is that the Mother's booth they were in?
Yeah, that's in the Mother's wax booth, which is pretty impressive.
They've got a pretty lengthy schedule of unveilings tomorrow.
How many days does the show go on, guys?
4.
4.
So the Apex show runs the same time, Uptown or the new strip. So they kind of correlate together. But, it's like this is more of an accessory show. That's more of a distributors looking for, what can you do for me show, over at Apex.
So what do y'all have in the champion booth then, Scott?
So this booth's kind of a simple setup. We have the Shelby car. We have a Cobra.
There we go. Get the angle right.
Simple booth. Just got a Cobra.
And then, basically what we do, this is kind of a simple setup. We have a display rack with, our heavy hitters or our movers for racing performance products. And then the backdrop, of course, has some champion stuff. You see behind us the champion purpose built. So, but, basically we're going to have some, catalogs, and we'll get a lot of foot traffic, people interested in what's going on. And tomorrow we'll set it up a little better, finalized. We'll put some, product bottles around the car, like the modern muscle, so people kind of associate bumper to bumper. We have our gear oil, stuff like that. But for the most part, this is a kind of a pretty simple setup just because of the distance we come. In and out, time purposes for, our group to get here. Typically, I'm by myself, but we have 3 other, champion employees here helping out, so that's kind of cool too.
Yep. Somebody just texted me and said we should put a Beer Money Pulling Team sticker on the Cobra. Is that possible, Scott?
We can do anything, man.
Yeah, and then we're gonna get in jail.
I do have some stickers with.
Yeah, I don't know if we should do that. Charles is shaking his head. That'd probably be a bad idea. So
yeah, we could at least.
There must have been a disturbance in the internet. I didn't shake my head at all.
Oh, okay, weird. It was just a fuzzy wuzzy there. So
it's like Fig Newton right across the front windshield.
Yeah.
Well, the keys are in this thing. Maybe we could cruise around the show. That'd make some good, content.
Yeah, Scott, how long has Champion Oil been involved with SEMA?
I think either 12 or 14 years. So, me being new as director of motorsports, this is really my second year. Last year, we opted out as a company with COVID policies and that, and then of course, the year prior to that, they canceled the show because of COVID. So. But yeah, it's been at least 12 anyways. Same with PRI.
I would have to say my highlight of the trip so far is we got to hang out with John Force yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. That's not cool. I mean, it's cool for you, but not cool for me. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That was thanks to Scott. If
Yep,
it
no.
wouldn't have been for Scott, we'd have been just in the stands.
Yeah,
No, that's awesome. Yeah, he's how did you said Brittany won Top Fuel, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you
John
guys
got beat out in the semis.
Okay, and you got to see Tony Stewart first time driving the Top Alcohol dragster then?
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. That was awesome.
And he lost by what? Thousandths, 0.0002.
Yeah, 2 10,000ths.
Yep.
They wanted to make sure he got beat by a girl today all over social media, but drag racing's dark. You know, it's honestly, that's a nice part about motorsports. There's a lot more gals, ladies in it that are really competitive. So
yeah, Dusty Arfons has been kicking guys' asses forever, right, Dusty?
Yeah.
Well, I tried.
Hey, Brett Roberts is heading out there, Doug. Are you still going to be out there? You're heading to Diesels and Dark Corners.
Right. I leave Thursday morning.
Okay. Is there a John Deere booth or something out there, Roberts? He's heading out to Vegas, huh? I like it. Cool semi trucks or something. So
there's a couple trucks here, not a lot. Lots of pickups outside.
Looks like a 70-ish crew cab C10 under that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I have not seen that one yet. That was kind of covered up all day long. But you can't see it all. We just would skip rows, and we started walking about 11 o'clock this afternoon, and we didn't walk every third row just to get an idea what was here so I can plan my day out in the next couple days. And we walked for 6 hours.
Wow.
That
is incredible.
One concourse is just like sound systems and electronics.
Jeeps are huge out here too. That's another thing and the off-road style pickups that are set up with pop-up tents and stuff on them. Like I don't know if you call them I don't know what you call but it's like preppers almost in a way, you know, that they're ready to tackle the world and have everything with them.
Overland stuff.
Overlanding, yeah.
How many people do they how many people come through an event like this?
No, that's a good question. I don't know. I would imagine at least 100,000 people plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Make sure there's a concrete barricade box usually outside. Make sure you tin that for some festivities, Doug and Scott.
We saw a 1973 Chevy Impala with some big motor in her doing burnouts already today.
Yep.
So they have a burnout pit there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got an off-road course too.
Yeah, this is incredible.
I was out there a couple of years ago, right before the show started, setting up and walked through some of that and was outside. So it was pretty neat to see everything. I just wasn't there for the show itself.
So, Tim, you said your wife went out to this for years? Your wife, Tim Arfons?
Oh, yes. Yep. She's president of McCullough Public Relations. She used to have a lot of clients out there.
Wow. Beyond cool. And you had to stay home and babysit?
Yes. For a lot of, she took me out 1 year of all the years she went out there. I went out one time with her.
And you're kind of famous, Arfons. That's crazy that she left you at home. I would have showed you off like eye candy or something like that. So. Wow. So cool. That's a different world, guys. But when I win the $1 billion lotto or whatever is going on, Charles, right now, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The amount of carpet that this place takes, there must be semi-loads of carpet that come in here for this. Most of them are like all new rolls. It's nuts.
That must be like a Copo Camaro or something under that sheet.
There's a 66.
Yeah, talk about eye candy for Halloween, guys. This is all right. This is all right.
You got the money, they have it.
Yep. Scott, what was the drag races like for you in Champion? Did you have a booth at Champion Oil, or were you just kind of observing and taking in the races? What were you doing at the races?
Scott came in on Sunday morning.
Okay.
Hope and I traveled out here on Thursday and took the races in on Friday and Saturday as spectators. And then, like I said, we were fortunate enough to get hooked up with Scott yesterday to go in behind the scenes with John Force and spoke with his, what's Kevin's title?
I think Kevin's a new motorsports coordinator. You know, he's after sponsorships and marketing partners for John Force Racing.
And the funny thing was, I have my Beer Money shirt on. He says, I know who you are. He, his last big job before he went to work for Force was he was kind of the entertained sponsors and such at Louisville for the farm show for the tractor pull. That was his last gig before he went to work for John Force.
Awesome.
How state of our industry was that last shot there, where you've got a blown flathead in a Ford, Roadster body or frame next to a Tesla?
Yep.
Next year it'll be vice versa.
Yeah.
There'll be a blown flathead in a Tesla. Someone's already put LSs in them, so
yep.
Why not?
That's a 1978 Pinto with a big motor in it.
A big
and
motor.
and portholes in the back. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. That's a drive-in cruiser.
She isn't too far away from that truck body or truck frame. I don't know if she'll get over back to that or not, but this place is cool. If anybody's ever gets the chance to come, it's well worth the trip. But you gotta kind of know somebody or to get in here, because they do not let the public in. I think they're going to this year on Friday.
Yeah.
For the first time. There's a 78 Scout 2.
Richard Warren would love that, Roos.
Indeed, he would.
Now that booth there, they make modern electronics to look like the old style radios and dashboards and stuff. So
is that Dakota Digital or something?
I believe so.
Retro Bolt.
Retro Manufacturing.
Wow.
I've heard rumors that we will see the Scout again. Probably in the next 5 or 10 years, and it won't make any noise.
Yeah, but it's built by your favorite manufacturer, two of you.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've seen the concepts. They look good.
We didn't see a big presence of EV vehicles here.
There's a few, but not a lot.
Nothing. Low ratio.
I would imagine you'll see a few.
New Broncos, old Broncos. That's like the big thing, I think, this year.
It's neat to kind of see behind the scenes like this. Thanks for doing this tonight, Scott. I appreciate this. So.
They lost GM and Ford, I guess, both backed out this year, so they're having, people are spread out a little more. That was a lot of real estate they lost in participants.
Why would a major manufacturer pull out like that? Just because nothing new going on because of COVID, or what you think?
I think so. A lot of people have asked me that same question, and like Ford, I think the stance. There's new management to the show, so I don't want to say they do a great job, but the cost, and they get you for everything. I mean, plugging in a cord and laying carpet in the contract. So I'm assuming that the cost has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But maybe there's financially, maybe they're the monies are going towards ramping up EV stuff, commercial and that. But I don't know, because like I say, Ford had the biggest real estate in this show. We were all shocked when we heard they pulled out. So
good deal. Good deal. Well, Doug or Scott, do we have anything else that we want to talk about with you guys tonight, or?
We are headed to Fremont Street from here to attend the open house for that Diesel Hot Rod Association.
NHRDA?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Sounds
from
fun.
8 till 10, so that's where we're headed from here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Scott, thank you to Champion, and thank you for being nice to Doug and Hope. Okay, bud?
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on, and nice to see everybody. Have a great week. Happy Halloween.
Perfect. Tell Doug to take his mask off now, okay?
I will. Talk to you soon. Yep. Have a great night.
See ya.
See you guys.
See ya.
Wow. Live from SEMA and the Arfons all in the same night. You gotta pinch me, Charles. This is amazing. This is amazing. So
we had to have something fun after gorging ourselves on candy.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Tim Arfons, Dusty Arfons. Charles, take it away. This is cool. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Yeah, appreciate you guys joining us. I feel like the story that of your father is very well told, but it didn't end with him. It continued with both of you, and the motorsports involvement is still alive and well right up through today. Tim, your story is pretty well told on your website a bit. So I really wanted to start with Dusty and ask you, how much coaxing did it take for you to get in the seat?
No, it was, I had to beg for something to drive. So, and Tim gave me my first ride. He let me take, it was still his tractor, and he let me, that was my 18th birthday present, was a ride down the track.
So USS Enterprise was your first trip.
Yes.
Gotcha. I wondered about that, if it was something where, you really wanted to jump in it and you had, people holding you back, or if you had to be talked into it.
No, I was begging, because I think at the time to drive a Mini, you could drive a Mini at 14. So I kept asking for one of those, and Dad's just like, no. So then Tim gave me a ride in his Enterprise, which, I mean, you didn't campaign it much longer after that.
No, I was into the funny cars.
Yeah. So then we repainted it red for me.
Yep. And we saw that in that the silent clip where it was, or actually, no, you didn't play that yet, Jason, did you? Where we got kind of a silent montage of some of the prior stuff that you guys had put together. That was the first one for you, and then the twin engine came later.
Right.
How much similarity and work went into, I'm kind of going to bounce all over the place a little bit. What came to the mod chassis with some of the other ones that we see, turbine ones we've seen out of Ohio? You guys had a hand in a lot of them, or was it a collaboration with just shared ideas?
The only tractor we ever built and sold or helped build would be the first one that he was in business with Bob Frock with, and then the one that Bob Bussey had.
I gotcha.
The rest of them were just, it worked, so people copied the design.
There's one, sorry, Jason, I'm looking for something I'm going to upload into branding. I had found some old 8mm film of, I'm not sure if this is the first one that Bob Frock was a part of, or the second one, and it's super 8mm film. It's not very long because it was at the very end of the reel, and those old, back then in the 70s, like you had 3.5 minutes, I think, and the intention was to keep filming it, and it just ran out of tape. I've seen pictures of this thing, but I've never really seen any video of it moving anywhere, and we found some. It came from Ralph Chamberlain, so I'm going to load that up. We can show everybody kind of what the first one looked like.
Charles, do you want me to play the no sound one right now?
Yeah, you can do that while I go hunt for this thing.
Yeah, we guys can keep talking. So,
I mean, you guys can talk about some of what you're going to see on the screen there too.
Well, Dad's got 2 fires there. That was always a challenge there. And there, oh, that's my helmet Tim had painted with student driver on the back.
That's a good brother. That's a good brother.
That's when we used to run side by side. That was the most fun.
That would be fun.
I've gotten to see it on rare occasions, and I think it's one of the coolest things to ever happen. But the rest of the world seems to think that the world is ending, that it's not safe.
Dad always he never would let us ride side by side together. We always had to run against somebody else. So you didn't wipe out both tractors.
So Tim, you didn't start in pulling. You actually began with a slingshot dragster powered by a turbine.
Yes. I ran that for a few years, and then Dad decided when he got into tractor pulling, he wanted me to get into tractor pulling. So the USS Enterprise, the drivetrain was actually the engine and the transfer case and the drive line out of the dragster.
I gotcha. So when that there's been that dragster's been back. Is that the actual one, or was that a recreation?
No, I kind of wanted, when I was getting towards the end, I wanted to retire. I wanted to really retire with how I started, so I made a copy of the first car. I
gotcha. Okay. And that car, is it here, or did I see that it had gone to Europe?
It's in Europe.
Gotcha. It's been 7 seconds at over 200 miles an hour of the turbine. Yep.
I love that car, but I didn't want to see it rotting in the trailer, and I was done driving. I tell you what, getting at 65 years old, putting on a Dash 20 fire suit and sitting in the staging lanes for 40 minutes, it's just, no, I can't do that anymore.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate
If they'd let me drive in a T-shirt like they used to in the old days, I'd have kept doing it. But
so with going to pulling, and then you had the mod, but then the funny car thing. Was that an idea, like you saw a growth opportunity as a class, or did USHRA come to you guys and say, hey, we want to do this exhibition style thing? What was the genesis of that?
I went to Bob George with the idea, and he was a drag racing promoter originally, and he loved the idea, and it was a big hit with the crowd, and it just took off from there. Steve Reyes wrote a nice article on the whole history of the pulling funny cars. But there was a lot of cars involved in it. Tom McEwen had a copy car. Mm-hmm. Chi-Town Hustler had a car. There was a couple of drag racing crossovers in the pulling ranks.
Yeah, there were quite a few. What was the demise of that continuing?
Monster trucks.
I was afraid you were going to say that. I was afraid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought they'd fade out in a couple of years, but boy, were we wrong.
Yeah.
And that held no appeal for you guys?
Not really, because you need a semi. I never wanted to use a semi for anything. I wanted something I could haul with a pickup truck. So that left monster trucks out for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Same with Dad. Dad thought it was a lot of work.
And I didn't want to compete with Bob Chandler. Bob Chandler is such a great guy. He started that. He was the monster truck with the group we were with, and I didn't feel like competing with him either. I wouldn't have wanted to do that.
Yeah.
How much collaboration went on between the multiple disciplines then, in that sense, where, like, obviously you're talking reverent tones with them, was there collaboration about how there's a show here where there's a place for everybody and we can all find our spot in it?
No, that was done more by the sanctioning group. Bob George and his crew would decide where you're going. They always had us split up. Dad and Dusty would be going one part of the country. I'd be going to the other part of the country. And they'd have so many funny cars, so many trucks, and so many tractors at each show. They'd just tell you where to go.
There's some of the more definitely exhibition stuff you got up to with the
Oh, the four-wheeler was my favorite of all time. That was the
Was
best
it?
thing. Yeah, I love that thing.
I was going to ask you. So you had the four-wheelers with the exhibition stuff that you did with those, but the one that if I knew about it, I'd certainly forgotten, and that was the jump jet.
Oh yeah.
Because if Dad didn't want you in a drag car really anymore, but somehow a slingshot, a catapulted car in an arena was a good idea to somebody.
I thought it was a great idea until the first time I got in it, and then I thought, no, this ain't such a good idea. And I had so much money invested in it. It was the opposite of the four-wheeler. I loved the four-wheeler. I hated the jumper, but I had so much money in it, I had to do it.
You had talked on your website about there wasn't space to get up to speed purely on the engine that was on it. That was more for the spectacle side of it. So you devised this catapult, and how much aim or control at the hallway you were trying to land towards did you have?
Aaron Palmer made it tougher on me every week. I mean, we went into some facilities that were it was a basketball arena, and the return ramp would be hanging out the doors. I mean, you had no room for error.
That's unbelievable. And some of the small places, everybody knows about the big events going to, Superdome and Astrodome and the Silverdome. Even here, that early clip we played of the Camaro funny car, that was from here in Detroit, but that was at Cobo Arena downtown. People don't realize that pulls did happen there too. And you saw the distance. I mean, you're running off the dirt at 175 feet.
Well, I was off the dirt and I was past the roller.
Yeah, right. I don't know how some of those small arenas, you guys went to a lot of places like Rochester, New York, Buffalo, played a lot of hockey arenas in the USHRA days. In those particular events, did you treat it as a show, or was the competition really still the thing, knowing that it was the same for everybody?
In the polling, it was still competition.
Yeah. Yep.
There was very few. I mean, we would get paid appearance money, but there was points. There was a points fund at the end of the year, and you wanted to beat the other guy. It was 100% competition.
I only remember one pole we had to fake it because the track was so bad that they were pushing the sled with the loader just so we could get a show off. But the rest of the time, it was competition.
I have seen that happen once or twice. That's frustrating when you're behind the scenes and you know what's going on. You're just sitting there cringing, going, "Oh boy."
Yeah, you do what you got to do to make a show.
Well said, Jason. There's one image I've got up in the photos section that I really have been wanting an opportunity to ask you guys about. It's that one.
Oh, the tires that didn't work. That even says it. I said that without looking at the top of it. I just saw that.
Yeah, that's a crazy. Is that like that's not even that's not even a triple cut, Charles?
No, it's like I don't know. Were those actually a Firestone that got knifed that way, or was that a Terra tire?
No, that's all we had were Firestones.
Yep.
Interesting.
Dad always thought it would work, so he wanted to try it. So that's what we did.
And I think this Tim Wyden took this photo, I think, or his family did. Where was this when this was tried?
I'm thinking that was probably
Dover. We took it to Dover, but it went to Bowling Green.
Another place where they used to have the over by Mike West's place. I can't think of it.
Oh my gosh! It starts with an R. No, Randolph.
No, it wasn't Randolph. Whatever. It was over.
There was somebody recently posted a picture. It went to Bowling Green once.
Okay.
And I know Tim and I grew up together, and that's where the majority of his photo albums came from. If I had to lay money on it, I would say it was Bowling Green.
Yeah.
What was the thought process that went into that? Just hey, let's try this, or was there's some thought that went behind it?
No, Dad just wanted to try it. And that tractor, that was the Enterprise when we put a T64 in it.
Right.
So it could run to 5 with, close to 3,000 horsepower. It should have been a good tractor at that point.
Gotcha. And yeah, I didn't know when exactly that image had been taken, and from the angle, it's tough to tell, which version that had been.
Yeah.
So you had to have the twin then, Dusty.
Yes. Oh yeah. The single was just, well, actually, Tim, I could have had Dad's tractor as a single. Before the
I thought that was the Enterprise. That's the Enterprise fender.
That's the Enterprise. But then I ran Dad's tractor as a single for 3 years.
Right.
Before we made it a twin. So it could have been, it was late 80s.
So that tractor did run then with the engine turned back around with the front exit exhaust.
Yes.
Yeah, Dusty ran it, and then Bob Soyson ended up buying that, and that became the flying machine.
Oh, okay. All right. And he's still running that frame, is he not?
No, they got
He's
part.
not. Okay. Yeah, there's another image of that.
Now the last time I ran it in Dover, I think it was, I did lift the front end and drop it hard enough to hurt my back. So it did somewhat work, but it wasn't very successful.
Have to wonder what could have been if just had taken the time to experiment and play with tire pressures and figure that out.
Well, the way they're running tires today with hardly any cleat on them, I think if you'd have just had a little bit of a raised leading edge on those, it probably would have worked.
It was described to me.
Probably, it says right there, Dusty. It says in that picture, Canfield. That's where I thought we took it.
Oh, okay. Canfield.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It had been explained to me probably, I don't know, I'm going to say it's probably 15 or 16 years ago. Bruce Brown told me this, the way to characterize it is they're not going down the track with traction. They're going down the track with friction. And however you come up with it.
It's changed over the years. I mean, Dad's first tractor had forestry specials on it, and the lugs were probably 6 inches deep. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Log skidder tires.
Don Harness was the guy that was the leader in that. He was the one that first started running the really cut tires. And he was winning a lot with that. I have to credit him for starting that.
He had always something curious that I wanted to ask about. It has to do with turbine drivability. For especially in the modern era, we've heard from some competitors about with the Puller 2000s and the throttle characteristics on the engines that they're kind of a light switch and they don't necessarily have the drivability they would like. Your father at one event, this would have been mid to late 90s, made the comment that, well, I've got an air clutch so I can get around some of those kinds of issues. What was he onto and what did he mean by that?
Well, back then, the sleds are a lot heavier, and it was more of a driver's game for the first 100 feet. You had to that was the advantage of the turbine, because you could almost be like a slipper clutch, and you could get hooked up the first 75 feet out of the hole to get it accelerated and moving, whereas the guys at the clutches had to get hooked up to some point and start spinning their tires. But as they went to the lighter sleds and they let them get going faster, it kind of took the advantage of the turbine drive away.
Gotcha. Did his system, did it include any kind of a mechanical engagement on his part, or was it still centrifugally
Turbines never have a direct hookup. Turbines work like an automatic transmission, except they're using air instead of hydraulic fluid.
I gotcha.
There is no direct connection between the engine and the wheel that drives the tires.
Gotcha. Aren't many of them around, so it's tough to know all the time, or to find that source of information to ask. There just aren't a lot of guys running them any longer.
Yeah, just a few out there. There's a lot more in Europe. There's a lot of them running in Europe.
There is.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know what magic they found, or they run a lot of them. It seems like they've got a couple, at least one class anyway, that is heavier than anything that runs here.
Right.
So I don't know if that's the difference.
Oh, it's so cheap. I mean, they get the Soviet engines over there dirt cheap.
Yeah, Mick Broughton, you're absolutely right. That was Bruce Brown who said that to me. You must have heard that from him too.
Yeah.
He'd always said Bruce Brown passed away recently here in the last week or two. He'd always wanted to try, if had he been able to, I think he would have been one of the first guys to go out there on the Mitas tire completely uncut just to see what would happen. He'd have tried it.
Yeah.
So your involvement in motorsports isn't done. You're still doing stuff. Just people don't necessarily realize it when they're seeing it. What? Tell us about Akron Turbine Group.
I just closed it. I just did my last NASCAR race this summer. I worked for NASCAR for going on probably 15 years doing the jet dryers for a lot of their tracks.
Now, certainly you had the background to be able to develop that. Were you kind of the originator in the jet dryer world?
I didn't originate it, but I brought it to a level to where guys that ran jet cars would build in the wintertime, they'd build a jet dryer for a NASCAR track. And then they'd never talk to them again. They'd never have anybody to work on it. And there was no parts interchangeability. So I kind of started it into a business where I got all the tracks having the same type of engine, same type of equipment, and giving them support for it. We'd go around, I'd do overhauls for them. If they had a problem, they could call me. A lot of the tracks, I'd take up to 4 jets to it, one of the big races. But it just made it a lot easier. And then they had a little bit more confidence if they'd have someone that would be able to talk to them through problems and such.
Gotcha. And you adapted that as well. I think you had a model that was kind of more specific for road maintenance use as well.
I did road maintenance, and now I closed the one for the drag race. I mean, for the NASCAR racing, and I still run a small company right now. We specialize in building dryers for striping companies because they're the last ones out there on a road job when they're up against penalties, and that seemed to be where the best money could be.
Yeah, it's amazing, particularly at a big multi-lane freeway. They get incentivized and on a completion date. And like
Correct.
you said, they're the last ones in. It's worth it to spend whatever thousands of dollars on expediting because the bonus is going to outweigh it. So they're willing to pay.
And then when they're late in the fall, I mean, they're getting the worst weather. So it's cold and we can actually heat it up. They have to have a surface temperature of 55 degrees before they can put the paint down. And we can bring the temperature up and dry it at the same time.
Gotcha. That's kind of the part-time retirement gig then for you?
Part-time, yes.
Part-time, hopefully. Somehow I don't think you're going to sit still quite that long.
Actually, I took up golf 5 years ago, and that's really changed my outlook on things. So I'm down here in Florida right now.
I gotcha.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you'd become depressed. That's what happens when I look at my golf clubs.
Yeah, I just want to
up.
throw mine. I don't really want to learn to play better.
100%. I have given up.
I'll be the oddball and come golf with you, Tim. I'm not very good, but I'll golf.
I like to golf. The guys aren't very good. It makes me feel better.
I play a fairway over, so you'll be fine.
Okay.
I've always said I'll be fine if you allow me to bring a baseball bat, a pool cue, a tennis racket, a hockey stick, and the golf clubs. I'll be in.
Okay.
You wouldn't need the golf clubs. You had those.
Well, the golf clubs would be for show. So
Actually, golf has helped me because I used to have the absolute worst temper. I threw my helmet. I don't know how many times.
You?
Yeah, and everyone said I would never make it because I had such a terrible temper, and I've never thrown a club or ever got mad. I mean, it's amazing. I'm going to write a book, Anger Management Through Golf.
That is a contradiction in terms if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, that is an oxymoron or military intelligence or something like that.
How about you, Dusty? What's a day in the life look like for you these days?
Oh, not too much. I puppy sit, which is a great job for my neighbor. But yeah, just hold down the fort here for Randy and my kids.
Boy, there's a photo right there.
That's a very fast photo.
Very fast photo.
Richard Noble, Craig Breedlove, Andy Green, and Art Arfons.
Yep.
Holy crap!
So
yeah.
with kind of where you guys were at in time and kind of your father's interest in pursuits as well, was it ever a consideration for either of you to kind of try to do what Richard Noble and Andy Green were able to finally do?
I never had any desire for that.
Nope. That was Dad.
So crashing above 600 miles an hour is something that only 2 people in this photo have done.
One.
Only one.
One. Oh, yeah. I knew Craig had done one. He didn't make it to 600 though when he wrecked, did he?
When he went you mean when he went in the dike?
Yeah.
No. When he turned over Spirit of America.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean when I'm way on it. Yeah, when he went on his side.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the new car. No, I consider a crash when they found one of Dad's tires 4.5 miles away.
Yeah.
That's just amazing when you think about it.
Yeah.
One of the other ones is still rolling somewhere today.
Well, you figure a wheel was going 8,000 RPM and the car was going 600 mile an hour, so it's gonna have some force.
Well, didn't they say one of the wheels went up through the helicopter prop?
Yep, rotor. Just
Rotor.
missed the guy.
Unbelievable. Some of the stuff and guys then didn't, that would have been, was it still the 60s? Yeah.
That was 60. Yeah, it was 66 when he crashed.
Didn't even think about it. That actually reminds me of another kind of funny story. Tell the story about when I believe it was the FBI came looking for him because he had bought, was it the J79 at auction?
Yep, it was a colonel in the Air Force that came.
Okay.
And they wanted the engine back, and he said, "No, I'm not giving you the engine back." And they said, "Well, you can't have it because it's a classified engine." Dad showed him his receipt for it and said, "You're not getting it." And they never did come back. It was different back then too. Today, I think they treat it a lot differently.
Oh, I'm sure. And just that, like, how different it was that the same engine where, because it was classified, getting parts was going to be nigh on impossible? He discovered that there were some fins in the compressor that were damaged. So he just counted them off and said, all right, we'll take that one off, and then every third to balance it, and we're good to go.
Yeah, it had that engine that set the record was actually missing 67 blades.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that many. Wow.
Well, there was 1,000 in the engine, so.
Still, just the problem solving and the stick to it, and we're just going to do it.
Well, he did. He couldn't afford the expense. They wanted I think it was $10,000 for a pneumatic system to throw the drogue chute out that would pull out the main chute, and it was something they used on the space capsules. And he built his own out of a shotgun. We still got the shotgun on the desk down at the shop. It was a little sawed-off thing, and it would just run a blank shell, and it had a steel plug that would come flying out and take the chute out with it.
That's yes.
It would be so worth it just to come down there and just take a walk around the shop with you guys. I think the stories.
You're gonna want to come down next year. All those pictures. The shop's getting totally cleaned out. I've already got 2 of his cars there. Gonna turn it into a small museum.
Excellent.
Nice.
That would be awesome. We'll definitely have to stay in touch on that. That would be great. Any thoughts of dusting off the red one and trying it one more time?
Oh, I would love to, but I need Tim's help. I was putting it back together and I got stuck, and I need Tim's help, but he's so busy golfing. I hate to ask him.
I just have a bad feeling when the fuel control sits with gasoline in it for 20 years, we're going to have some issues.
I know. We could pressurize it and see what
we'll just get some. Just blow it out. Better gasoline than ethanol having sat in it for that long, or methanol.
No, if they ran kerosene, it would have been fine. But Dad always liked to run some gas in it for some reason. I was always a firm believer in straight kerosene.
Well, the one time when we were in Holland, when we took both tractors over to Holland, they got us 2 barrels of fuel. They got a barrel of kerosene and a barrel of gas, and they just went back and forth. And the tractors are lighting off like crazy. And then we got in the last hook. We got into the second barrel, and it must have been mostly kerosene. And Dad's tractor would not start. So, it just at the last, he was ready to give up, and I saw the temperature gauge flicker, and it started up. But I think missing that gas, it didn't start.
Did you find with going to gasoline in them that there was a need for some sort of temperature control? Did you have to run water injection to kind of mitigate against that?
No, the water injection was strictly for more power.
Okay.
As long as we never ran the engines any harder than they were supposed to be run, so temperature was never the only time you'd have a temperature issue was starting it. And Dad liked the gasoline because they would light off easier with the gas in them.
But did it help with the fire show too, Tim? Did it make for a better fire show or no?
Yes. Yeah, on yours you had that little auxiliary tank. I put straight gas in for the fire show.
So did you ever have a really exciting backfire from that?
When you were driving it as Dragon Lady, and the fire got stuck on that one time, and you're going down the track leaning over further. But nothing. We've never had anything horrible.
How hard or easy was it to get everything overseas to pull in Holland? Was it a chore? Did you have to bring your own tools, or was there teams over there that kind of helped out if you needed something?
Everybody over there was great. We loaded up my tractor and Dad's tractor went in the same container, and we took very minimal tools. And Dad's tractor wouldn't start when we got there, so they took me. We needed an O-ring. So they ran me around, and we found a place to get O-rings. And then that's when I found out O-rings over there are metric. So then I had to buy all different kinds of sizes so we could figure out what was going to work. But we did have to wait till an American tractor got there before somebody had standard tools.
I went over there 3 times, and the first time I went over was with Kamikaze, the jet 4-wheeler, and they lost it. So I wasn't too. They learned a lot of new American words that day.
I imagine they did.
I mean, they finally found it. It was Germany. They took it out of the box it was shipped in. They put it in a van, flattened the tires, and showed up a half hour after the show had started. So we had less than an hour to get air in the tires, get everything charged up, get the thing ready to run, and then make the show. I was so mad.
You still say any of those words when you put a ball in the bunker?
No, I told you I don't get mad at golf.
Did you throw your helmet at him, Tim?
No. You know what? I was close though. There was a guy named Mr. Overseer, and man, me and him were not seeing eye to eye. That worked out okay. The other people were great. Mr. Alting, who ran that whole deal over there, and Jan Beitenhouse, he was like our ambassador. They treated you like kings over there. It was always great.
It was quite an experience.
Tim and Dusty, can you see the questions on the screen?
Yes.
Was alcohol ever used as a cooling agent in turbines?
No, it's just used with alcohol mixed with water, just like they do with a turbocharged engine, just to cool the air coming in to get more of a charge.
So Travis Schwab says, watched Art and Dusty at Toma growing up pulling turbines. Always wanted one. Now we have a twin turbine garden tractor. I put that video up on the screen a little bit ago. So look what you guys did. You got people putting them on garden tractors now. So,
well, Tim's got them on all kinds of stuff.
What's the last year you guys pulled?
2006.
2000. Where was it at, Dusty?
Tiffin, Ohio.
Oh, and Jason, I did load into in the brand tab that real quick video clip of what I think was the second of Art's tractors.
I missed.
Yep.
I did.
No, that's the first tractor.
That is the first one. Okay. And that's all it is. It's literally 2 seconds, and then the film tape
that
ran out.
is that an old Oliver or cockshut roost?
Cockshut 40.
Okay.
There you go.
That is amazing. That
Dad
is awesome.
had it. It was a tricycle design, and when Bob got it, it had front wheels spread out, and it had the fenders.
Diesels and dark.
Bob had it.
Gotcha.
Wow.
I wish that piece of film had been like this much longer, because it would have kept going another 10 seconds.
That's the first time I ever saw that. Where'd you find that at?
It was shot by Ralph Chamberlain's father.
Okay.
71-ish. Does that sound right?
73 is that
73. Okay. I couldn't remember, but yeah, he had 4 little Super 8 reels,
Right.
each one about 3.5 minutes, that had some old mods and old supers from back then.
Wow.
Dude, that thing is like classic looking. I love that.
It was neat. It had a joystick. Didn't have a steering wheel. Like a helicopter joystick.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
They had pulling uniforms too.
Oh, yeah.
They had green velvet pants and a pink shirt and white belt and white boots.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Does Snyder still own the Legend?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Okay, so when did Art's tractor get sold to Dave Snyder?
2000. I was home with having my second child when Dad sold the tractor.
Did you cry, Dusty?
Oh gosh, that was hard. And it's same week. I mean, the tractor left, and the same week they tore down the house my dad had built to make Home Depot. So his house came down, his grandmother's house came down, and his mom's. There was 3 houses in a row, and all 3 houses came down, and the tractor left all in the same week.
I'm never going to Home Depot ever again, Charles.
Me either. And if I win the $1 billion Powerball, the tractor's coming back to you.
I didn't shed too many tears. I was tired of working on that tractor.
I love that.
It would take a good 2.5, 3 days to change an engine. I mean, we were doing that a lot.
We were down to 3 days. It started at 7 days. First time we had to swap out an engine. It was a plumbing nightmare. And we all had our certain jobs that we did. And I mean, that's the only reason we got down to 3 days.
Did either one of you drive that one?
Nope.
I didn't want to drive that one. I hated that tractor.
Mm-hmm.
I drove his other one, but not that one.
So Dusty, you talked about hard to get both engines to light and shoot fire type of thing. Why were you alluding to that portion?
I'm sorry.
Earlier, you were talking about both engines to light fire.
Oh, that was just on the fuel in Holland. No, my tractor would light off easy. My tractor.
He was talking about getting both fires going on Dad's tractor.
Oh, yeah. It was just always one would blow out for some reason. It was exciting when there was 2. But yeah, sometimes one would just blow out. We wouldn't know why.
Yours had the same sort of auxiliary turbine setup for the starter, but it was behind the fenders, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was just out of necessity. That was the only place it fit. So we had a little canopy came over my roll cage to help protect it from the dirt falling in. But we did get a hole in one engine from the dirt falling down into it. So they don't like dirt.
No, they definitely don't. Did you find that was more actually an advantage on his being front intake versus yours being rear?
Well, it's a lot easier on the engine.
Yeah. But I liked my setup. I like it was hard for Dad sitting where he sat. He really couldn't feel the tractor. Where I was sitting almost on the axle. I really liked where I sat.
Were both of them equally narrow in the rear end, or did yours have a little bit more space between the rear tires than his?
I think mine was narrower.
Really?
Yeah.
I was curious, seating position aside, if there was something to that as well, that the narrowness of it contributed to the dullness of its feeling.
Why did Dad have it so narrow?
Well, the narrower the rear end, the straighter it wants to go. If one tire gets more leverage, it's not. You don't have as much. It gets more traction. It doesn't have as much leverage to steer the tractor.
Randy's sitting there. He said it fit in the bus easier too. And we always had the wide front axles too. Well, you didn't on your Enterprise, but I guess that's just me and Dad's tractors.
All right.
Loved Art's answer to why sitting where he did. Built tractor for power, then put seat on it, he said.
Oh, he had the engine sitting on the tractor, and then he walked around with the seat. And we're like, well, can we put it here? Can we put it there? And he ended up on top.
Mike Steffen's coming in strong tonight. Remember when he put steel wool in the engines to help heat it up, and steel wool went into the air at Toma?
That was probably to help the fire show stay lit.
Awesome. This is a Hoy 95. Is that Dragonfire? Is that Dragon Lady? Sorry, Dragon Lady.
Yeah, that's Dragon Lady. Yep.
There's that little canopy that you're talking about, Dusty.
Yeah.
Out the gate.
Yep. There you go.
With the wide front axle, it was still articulated though. Did you guys weight one side at all to kind of so that if, at least up in the air, you'd have one tire that would maybe drag a little bit and give you some steering input?
Dad's did.
They pivoted, yeah.
Dad's actually had a strut on it. It would actually push it down.
Okay, because it always seemed like, I want to say it was the right one would go down, right?
Yeah, they were a firm believer in that. The Enterprise had a locked front end.
Gotcha.
I just figured I didn't want to lift anything off the ground and give up pitch until you lifted everything.
Oh, this is the garden tractor?
Mini tractor.
Yeah, that's cute. Oh, I did see this before.
Their shows over there are very professionally run. I mean, all their teams and everything. It's a very professional setup over there.
Bucket list for sure to go check that out overseas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have an Oompa band come out. I mean, it's just really a different atmosphere. And I like watching like all the classes. Their mini classes got so many different engines in it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
It's how, their engine combinations are like we were back in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see anything. And that's when tractor pulling. I remember going to Bowling Green, and there's 57 tractors in the 7 modified, and any one of them could have won the class. That's when tractor pulling was fantastic.
There's at least a few of us that on this panel that you would not get any argument about that from.
I don't think any of us are going to disagree with that statement, Charles.
No.
So, guys, where were your favorite places to pull? Favorite tracks?
I know where my least favorite was.
Well, go ahead and throw them under the.
This wouldn't be the same place where you had to make the show and push the sled back, is it?
No.
Oh no. Oh gosh, a favorite. For me it was Toma.
Bowling Green.
I never did well at Bowling Green. Dad, he would either do really good at Bowling Green or really bad.
Yeah.
There was no middle ground for him there.
Bowling Green was a happening. It was a big party.
It was fun.
Of course, I was drunk a lot of the time after.
Oh gosh.
The Hangover Team. There was a team called the Hangover Team, and I got hooked up with them. Boy, we had fun.
That's where the crossover to golf comes from.
Yeah, a little bit of it.
Ohio State Fair was too early in the morning.
Oh, we would go back and forth between Indiana State Fair and Ohio State Fair, and I mean, you'd have to drive all night a couple of times. It was called Hell Week. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd start at 9 o'clock in the morning, or was it even earlier?
8.
Yeah, and that's after you ran Indiana late in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Then go back to Indiana, run another class over there.
And then somebody had the bright idea to incentivize Ohio State Fair and Bowling Green, and now you feel obligated. Never got to Ohio State Fair. That's one that I knew about it, of course, but I'm just young enough that it escaped my ability to go see it.
It was a good fair.
It was when they had the infield. It was nice. After when they put us up there by ourselves, I didn't like it up there.
Yeah. It was easier to park though.
Oh no. You went easier when it was never easy at Ohio State.
Well, when the Ohio State Patrol would have all the cadets out there, and they'd have them doing traffic, teaching them how to be rude to people. So it was never
it was always a nightmare.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them doing that kind of a pull today, where you got toter homes now, like Bootlegger's old rig, where it's 387 feet bumper to bumper, and trying to get that in there.
There's a lot of them play. I know they'd never get into the buck with that thing.
Ohio State Fair was midweek.
Yeah.
And then Bowling Green Saturday.
And then I think there was like a day off between Ohio State Fair and Bowling Green. I never had to do the overnights that was before my time.
Oh, that was terrible.
Tim or Dusty, what's the wildest ride you ever went on, and where was it, and what vehicle were you driving, and what happened?
Wildest ride?
Yeah, like, oh crap, maybe this is it.
Mine was on my first Dragon Lady. We were in the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and I just couldn't get out of my own way. And Dad said, just let the sled let her go. And, we'll just take last place, but, let her put a show on. So I went to talk to the sled operator, and Ken stopped me. He goes, just get on your tractor. So I got on my tractor, and I did not get to talk to that sled operator. And he just left it in a lower gear, never stopped me. And I went right through the hockey wall.
Yikes.
Which was fortunate for Milt Bergman, because he went up into my weights in the front, made an indentation in the wall, and his alcohol tank went right up in there. So I helped him out. But that was the worst I ever had. What about you, Tim?
Hamburg.
Oh, well, yeah.
My first dad had his heart attack, and it was my first time driving his tractor. And he told me, come out easy. It was a 12 open. He said, come out easy. He goes, you'll feel don't go to full throttle till you feel this jerk. He goes, that's the box topping out. And when the box tops out, it's not going to get any heavier. You've got it at that point. He said, when you feel that, go on down with the throttle. Well, I got out about 150 feet, and I felt that jerk, and I went down with the throttle. But the jerk was when the box had broken, the sled was loose.
Oh!
We rolled the tractor at the end of the track, and the box went right over the top of us. It screwed the tractor up.
Holy cow.
Ouch.
Well, there's a picture of the sled. Where was the tractor at? Tractor's in there somewhere.
Jason, she's got pictures on the screen.
Okay, hold on, Dusty. Hold on. I got to make it big.
Wow. And somewhere, if you look, I was sitting on the other side of the track. The seat was folded up against the steering wheel.
Here's a better one. Whoa, let me find the.
Yeah, you can see the sledge right where I was sitting.
Oh,
wow.
Jeez.
Oh, this is wind's blowing. Too close. Oh, here's the after effect here.
Wow.
And what we didn't know was we got the fender and everything fixed. We went to Bowling Green. My second trip, we're running the 12 open, and I'm about half track, and the same thing. I'm wide open. It's going like a son of a gun, and the transmission exploded. When we had twisted the frame, we didn't know it had cracked the transmission, so we lost the transmission on the second pass.
Oh.
So that was first two runs were fun with it.
I bet. I don't know that I'd heard that story before.
Oh yeah, it was a mess.
I lost you guys for a minute, but Dad was leading two classes when Tim started. But
No, we were leading all three classes.
Oh, I thought it was just 2, but you ended up getting 1. So
yeah, we won 1, but we lost 4. We lost 4 hooks because of the accident and then the transmission explosion.
Is that the 7, the 9, and the 12 then?
Yes.
Yes.
We ended up winning the 9.
Who were your fiercest competitors back then, or who were you like most scared? Like who did you know I got to have a good pass to go get him?
Ralph Banner's tractors. Bill Nolan driving.
Oh, I've never.
Don Harness was really tough at that time. Heilman.
Wow.
This would have been before Bruce Hutcherson got his 4-engine tractor going. So yeah, it would have been. Banner was the #1 guy to beat. If you beat him, you were doing really good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Just hearing those names, I get goosebumps.
Yeah, that's what was fun with me. When I first started drag racing, it was mid-'70s, so I got to race with, Garlitz and Mulder, all them guys. And then in tractor pulling, I got to start out with all the famous people that ended up in tractor pulling. I've had the best of 2 worlds with that. I got to run with everybody.
Cool.
A lot of them were a lot of fun, too.
Stories that probably cannot be repeated in polite company.
Yes, that's true.
Nothing's changed.
Dusty and I were just talking about one of them earlier.
My favorite story that Tim tells is when he was on the airplane with Russell Pearson. That's hilarious. That's something that would never happen today.
I had found we went to an airplane scrapyard and I bought this electronics box and I carried it on the plane with me and I'm flipping all these switches and he's making a big to-do and the stewardess was getting worried. I mean, today they would have arrested us.
Oh.
You were like going through a pre-flight check or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get on plane Thursday night, so definitely, I don't want to even think about that.
So where was your most memorable pass in a good way, like non-rolling the tractor with the sled barreling down on you? What was the most memorable, like a big win or something like that?
I would have to. My favorite one would have been with Dusty's tractor, Chicago at the Rosemont Horizon. I was having a terrible weekend. I was last place on Friday, and then we had a Saturday afternoon one. I was on last place on that one, and I was the last hook on the Saturday night, the finals. And we put the sled all the way to the right-hand side, and I ran the sideline all the way up the right-hand side and won the class. That was my favorite by far.
Well, my favorite was in Houston at U.S. Hot Rod World Finals. Our points champion had won or had the only full pull, and I was the last hook, and John Hellman pulled ahead of me and did not make a full pull, and our champion started loading up his tractor, and I'm like, please just let him run again. And I went out and made a full pull, and I ended up beating him. So that was satisfaction for being, they were just counting me out, but I got that win.
And that was one thing you did when you had a turbine tractor back then, because we were running 3 and 4 weight classes. You always, if there was a pull off, I don't care if there was 2 tractors or 8, you made them run the pull off, because you're going to wear them down, and the turbines don't wear out. So it might help you later on in a different class. Just make them put those extra runs on. Dad always beat that into us. Always go to the pull off. Don't split the money. Never.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Bruce, I think it's time for your question, buddy.
Well, I'm going to ask 2. And Dusty, this one's for you, and I'm going to ask it first. What was it like as a woman driver in a more or less male-dominated sport back then?
I never looked at it that way. You're
not the first to say that, by the way.
Okay. But I didn't think that was an advantage or a disadvantage. It was just something I wanted to do. I wanted to be like my dad.
Very cool. All right, now I'll ask my question. So I ask this of everybody who comes on the show. If you get the chance to steal the keys, so to speak, for a weekend to any pulling vehicle, past or present. So if you want to take Ralph Banners and go and drive it somewhere, that's totally okay. What would you take the keys to? Where would you pull it and why?
The General, anywhere.
Fair point. Tim, what about you?
I'd want to drive a Mini.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
I would
You
say
still got
the one I
still got a
remember
fire
most
suit?
was Johnny Mello's. It twisted all over the place. I would have liked to drove Mello's Mini.
If you've still got a fire suit, we can make some phone calls.
Yeah, we know some people. So
I could see him having an awful lot of fun with some of the slaw minis.
I was just gonna
Many
say
of them.
the way they sit. Yep.
Yeah, that's the only Tim. That's the only Mini that we will allow you to drive.
Okay,
We could set it up so long as you tell us you still have a fire suit. We can. You know what? I guarantee you, Bruce would let you do it.
That's okay.
Depending on how tall you are, you can borrow mine. Tyler, if you're watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you guys
And
have a
didn't
lot of old clips. You guys have done your homework here.
Well, you guys are kind of famous. You just go to Google and type in your last name. There's not that much homework, Dusty, but I appreciate the compliment. So no, you guys are everywhere. I mean, I thought Charles was joking when he said you guys were coming on the show. We've been doing the shows for since 2015, and the last couple of years it's become really awesome. We're getting legends of pulling on the show, and it's awesome. Like tonight's show will reach 30 or 40,000 people easily in the next week. It's amazing what social media has done for the sport of truck and tractor pulling, just everything in general. It's incredible. And having these guys on every Monday night and having you guys on, this is awesome. This is a dream come true. This is a dream come true.
Tim, Andy Gerbaugh says that Johnny still has the Superfly. So
There you go. They actually had a turbine for a while.
Did they?
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I went out and worked on it one time.
So Tim, did you teach Larry Richwine a lot of stuff, or did he try to teach you something over the years? So
No, he was just a friend.
okay.
Gosh, that was a long time ago.
Oh, yes. Well, there was a guy named, what was Mike's last name? Duck, before him. That's who you ought to have on here.
Mike Snyder.
Mike Snyder. He had Richwine's job before Richwine did.
Making notes.
Yep.
Get that down. Make that happen, Charles. I found it, guys. I found it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Now that's when Dad had it.
I know, but this is cool.
And I tell you what, that tractor ended up winning Bowling Green. It was Bob Frock sold it to a guy in Cleveland named Jim Havel. And he added another engine. I mean, it was basically that tractor, and he tried to make it look more like Dad's original, and he ended up winning Bowling Green twice.
Well, and that's those forestry tires you were talking about.
Yeah, look at the tread on those.
Jeez.
Yeah, they weren't cut much.
Looks like a little top cut, maybe at the most.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I do not miss sharpening tires. Not at all.
Well, then, as a modern puller, you definitely don't want a Mini.
Correct.
And those guys, they don't know anything about throwing weights either. My tractor used to run all the weight classes, so I'd go to a pull and run 5, 7, 9. We were tired.
Wow.
But everybody else adds engines. We were adding weights.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, when my twin came out, I had one weight. I had one 2,000-pound weight that Dad, we used my little pony motor, and it would lift it up hydraulically, put some pins on it, and I was weighted up, ready to go.
I had to haul my tractor weighted for 12,000, and sometimes it'd run to 5 last. So you're sitting there late at night. You just run the 5,000-pound class, and you got to add 7,000 pounds back in the tractor before you can load and go home. That was not fun.
Woof. Ugh.
This is a cool comment. Thanks for doing that, Connie.
Wow.
That's for you, Dusty.
Aw, thank you.
Clearly, Tim identifies as a male, so we don't need to go down that.
Well, I wasn't like I was the first either, but
Yeah.
No, and that's not what I was getting at. But I mean, it's a male-dominated sport, and you know, for better or for worse, there are some real jackasses out there who really hold some stupid old opinions, and they don't know when to keep their mouth shut. We see it we see it every year. We had a girl at the show that we all promote, the Pullers Championship this year in Nashville, Illinois, in May, and she had a bad night. She drives a 4-1 Limited Pro in the same class as Connie Molinix, and she had a bad night. She stabbed the brake while the wheels were turned, and she left the wheels turned. When it came down, the tractor started to roll. And we put up video of it because, I mean, it happened. And some moron who lived in God knows where goes on this tirade on one of our social media channels and just talking about how women can't be trusted with tractors and blah, 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 blah. And oh boy, I lit him up, and then about 40 other people, and about 15 or 20 of them were girl puller moms.
Oh.
And let me tell you what, you ain't never seen a pissed off anybody until you've made a driver's mother mad. But I mean, you know, the thing is, she's not the only girl who's ever seen that happen.
Right.
I can, you know, I mean, we can all list off those stupid.
Guy has done it too. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so I just wondered if you ever saw any of that, or that. Oh, she can't drive, and blah 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 blah.
Only from the guy on the other corner there.
I think it's okay if he.
Yeah, we'll give a sibling exemption.
Yeah, there's a sibling.
Well, where'd everybody go?
Hey.
I was trying to do that funny thing where it's just you two on the screen and you guys are going to battle it out.
Oh my gosh. No, he was my biggest tormentor. But
as any sibling would be.
Did you guys like Busch? Did you guys really drink Busch beer? Did you have to, or did you enjoy it, or not really?
Not me.
I wasn't a beer drinker. I would go to the pullers. We would have puller parties, and I would have a can, and I maybe get a half a beer down, but that's it.
I'd rather go buy a 6-pack of Budweiser.
What is Tim and Dusty's drink of choice these days? What do you prefer?
Wine.
Siesta Key rum and Coke.
Cherry Coke, right?
Yep, cherry Coke and Siesta Key spiced rum.
Dusty, what's the best Christmas present you ever got from Tim?
Christmas present, that was probably my helmet.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that was Christmas. My wedding gift from him was my pink seat on my twin.
Nice.
And also you're working on your twin.
Well, yeah. Well, I was finishing it up while I was on my honeymoon. Yeah.
Dusty, Tim seems to bring up working on your tractor a lot. I think maybe you should go to counseling. There's a few deep seeds laying there.
Yeah. Well, it would be worse if we brought up the bus.
Yes.
He hated the bus worse.
Let's see here.
So what was the most challenging part of maintaining turbines during the season?
But I think we always had to go home to work on them. We didn't work on them on the road. So that was probably the hardest thing.
Is that because of specialized tools, or is that, you know, engine hoists? Or, I mean, obviously these are a lot bigger than your average, you know, even big block.
Well, I think pretty much there wasn't a whole lot went wrong with them unless you had to change them out. Oh, there wasn't a whole lot of maintenance to a turbine.
Yeah, like my funny cars and stuff, I never touched the engines. We had more driveline issues than anything, and that was one thing I didn't agree with Dad on. Dad always made everything himself. made it all by hand. It was all one-off stuff. So if something broke, you're done for a while.
Yeah.
When I did that with my first funny car, but when I built my second funny car and my dragster and everything after that, I'd go to SCS and buy stuff he had. That way, if something broke, I'm running the next week. And, we were making a living doing that. But when I bought his stuff, it never broke, so it didn't matter.
Ding, hit up SCS for a sponsorship, Jason.
There you go. It's on the list. So
yeah, they actually built the gearbox for my last dragster too. They do good work. I worked with his dad before he took it over.
My gearbox is an SCS, isn't it?
I don't remember who made that. That was Marv Kottman's gearbox. I think it might have been an SCS gearbox.
I think it is.
Can you answer that question, Tim or Dusty, on the screen?
Oh, I didn't see it. Well, the Enterprise was 1,500.
Okay.
My tractor as a single was 3,000, and my tractor as a twin was 6,000.
Awesome.
My funny cars were all T58, so they were all 1,500. And Dad's would have been with the two 413s. He'd have been right at 8,000 horsepower.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Were turbines being regulated at that point as to how far you could spin them or how hard you could spin them?
Yes. We had safeties on them, and I mean, we would know if someone. That's the biggest misnomer about turbines. A turbine is set to kill from the beginning. I mean, you're right on the ragged edge with a turbine engine. If you try to get more power out of them, you're going to hurt them. And if the guys do that, then they hurt them, they're gone.
Yeah, so like the overspeed cutout, that stuff was in there from factory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's an awesome question from old Andy G. He's behaving tonight so far, Gerbaugh. I'm kind of proud of him. So, how many miles did you average traveling a year, and how many events? Wow, that's a question.
We would do, if you count, each 3 events at each city. I think we were up around 62 events a year.
Holy cow!
Mileage. I don't know. Because we would be pulling we started in Cincinnati, and then we went out to California for 2 weeks, and then we were back to the East Coast, and lots of miles.
And this is in the bus?
Yep.
I got to find a picture of the bus, Charles.
You had one earlier.
My 1 year, they started me in San Diego the first week after New Year's, and the second show was in Boston.
Ooh.
Well, someone should have fired that scheduling director.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like,
did either of you
right after week 1?
Any of you guys make the 1 or 2 pulls they did in Hawaii?
I did. I was there with Kamikaze. Okay. Yeah, that's when John Borba was running it. That was a good time over there. That was fun.
I don't think there's too many people who can say. I don't think there's too many people, and you might be the only one who can say that they have participated not only in Hawaii but also in Europe.
Yeah. Nova Scotia. I did every province up there. I went up there for a group that was running. He was getting sponsored by a beer company. He was a promoter, and he'd get so much money for every show he put on. We were doing weekday shows in hockey arenas that only had 2 rows of seats. I mean, it was amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he got the same amount of money from the beer company, so he'd pull the dirt in and do it.
That's a good question.
About a month and a half, 2 months doing those shows.
Boy, Molson's marketing department was a bunch of dummies, weren't they?
The biggest purse that I won was that pull in Houston. It was $3,500 to win.
Sweet. That's you. Is that USHRA?
Yes.
Okay. Tim, what's going on here, my man?
Oh.
That was in France when I was over there one time. Shutdown area was too short. That's why there was a Kamikaze too.
Oh.
How
much
did
did
you
it
hurt?
Hurt pretty good in that one. I was in the same hospital that Leonardo da Vinci died in.
Which was probably not comforting to you at the time.
I was going to say that had to be very inspiring.
What's that?
That had to be very inspiring.
Well, no one even spoke English to us. I mean, it was terrible.
They never cleaned you either, and
No.
that was a river of sewage he was upside down in.
No.
Ugh. Oof.
How fast did your four-wheeler go, Tim?
167 and a quarter.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
How much power does it make to push a four-wheeler to 167?
That was the same engine. It was in the funny cars, except we put an afterburner and took the drive off. Where it would drive the wheels, we took that part off and made it into a thrust engine. So it was basically a 1,500 horse engine.
Gotcha.
Tim, so you brought Kamikaze to some tractor pulls then too?
Oh yes, that's where it started.
Okay.
I actually had a school bus. I had Starfire in the school bus, and I had Kamikaze on a trailer behind it. And I tried to get the promoters to pay me a little bit extra to bring Kamikaze, and it got so popular, I parked Starfire, tore it apart, got a smaller truck and trailer, and was going across the country at Kamikaze for years with it.
Nice.
That was my biggest money maker I ever had.
How long did you guys run? Didn't you do the World War I or World War II, the military ambulance, four-wheel drive that was turbine powered as well?
That's why Dusty got my tractor. That was being built for her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was another one of the Arfons ideas that didn't work very well.
It was a bomb on wheels. The fire.
I hate to say this, but I think everything you drove was a bomb on wheels in one shape or form.
No,
it had the potential.
The fire show was as big inside as it was outside.
Oh,
and
yikes.
The flames were coming up around the fuel tank. Dad would put wet towels on the fuel tank to run.
And it was another one. He broke the gearbox, and it was one of those one-off things. So
it jumped on a lot too.
Yeah.
Oof.
So the joke about you being already inside the ambulance probably wasn't that funny.
He doesn't get mad anymore, Charles. Don't worry. He doesn't.
That's right.
Some of those pictures, I think that's Pontiac. I mean, that was the days. Pontiac was sold out a couple of those shows. That was amazing.
That's like 40, 50,000 people, right?
Pontiac was 70.
70,000 people?
Yep.
Yeah. We had all our vehicles there that day when the crowds emptied onto the floor. It was unbelievable. All wanting to get down there by Bigfoot.
Yep, Bigfoot would take 10 minutes to go over two cars, and the crowd was going wild. What days those were?
Where's the sled operator in this picture, guys?
Left-hand side, kind of in the shadows there in the back.
Yeah, it looks like a thumb sled.
Yep.
Yep.
This is amazing.
That was
one of the first humiliators?
That would have been number 5 or number 6, I think.
Wow.
We were always blessed. We had good sleds with USHRA always.
Who did they rely on most for sleds?
In the early days, it was Lashmetz.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, then thumb sleds picked up the difference, and it was probably a 50-50 split then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the memories that are on that ground now, it's an Amazon warehouse. It's about.
Is it really? I didn't realize that's what had become of it.
Yeah, they put that up. It's been about 4 years ago now that it's been open finally.
Wow.
I went to the last event, the last monster truck show in the building, and it was so sad. You couldn't get upstairs because all the elevators were broke. They didn't have any food because it was the last event. It was just so rough at that point. That was always so fun to go there. That was one of my favorite places to go. And when you would walk in through the open doors and the rush of air coming out at you, that was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
We were there one time when we had to cover the tractors because it was raining inside.
That's not good.
I remembered being in there, and you could look up and see guys on the roof. You could see their footprints of them shoveling snow off the roof. And I'm just like, man, what if he rips that thing?
Yeah.
It was amazing. You could see their feet moving.
they would open there was like windows or little plugs, and you could see a guy looking down through the plug. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could never do that.
You guys are probably melting snow with the turbines, I'm guessing. So.
Yeah, not that high up.
The place was huge.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, should we wrap it up?
Yeah,
hey, one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more from me. What did you guys love most about the sport while you were in it?
Traveling with
the people, the travel, Dad.
Working with my dad.
The people.
Yeah, I mean lifelong friends that I mean, there are some people out there that would do anything for you. And
oh yeah. And then like me and Milt Bergman and Jan Smeising, we first started out. There was a time when USHRA first started that if you were with NTPA and you pulled for them, you were blackballed. I mean, you couldn't get points. They hated you and everything. So there was 3 of us that started running with them on a regular basis. And we're at dinner one night because we travel all across the country together, us 3 guys. And my one friend sitting there, Jan Smeising, he goes, I can't wait to tell these guys how bad they're screwing up. We're doing so good. And I go, you idiot. I go, you tell them the checks bounced and you tell them like crap because we don't want them getting in on this deal.
Love it.
Gary Bramer. So Tim, I'm not sure what that says. So Tim, long-haired guy. What's that? Tim, does that ring a bell? Were you the long-haired guy, Tim?
No.
No.
Not sure what Gary's trying to say there. So.
I don't remember a long-haired guy in our crew.
Uh-uh.
You're going to have to elaborate there, Gary Bramer. So.
Maybe he was talking about the photo about the diamond cut tires because Tim is actually in that one, and Tim had, I don't know if he still has, but he had the mother of all mullets. He had a long mullet in the back.
Oh, the guy that took the picture.
The guy that took that picture from Bowling Green.
I was like, I never had a mullet.
I don't think Tim has that anymore.
Yeah.
Hold on. Look what I just found, kiddos.
Uh-oh.
Da-da-da. There it is.
The bus. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Where's that at now, guys?
Maryland.
As far as I know, yeah.
That's sweet.
That was a hard day for me.
Cody is licking his chop.
That was one of my better days.
Oh my God.
If I had to guess, that probably had an 871 or a 671.
He started out with a 671. He couldn't keep it in it, and he went to a Mac.
230.
Oh. Yep, ended up with a Mac in it.
So that's in Maryland. That's in Maryland. Like somebody's using it still, or
this guy bought it. He got it over there and found out he couldn't run with a homemade title. Then he parked it, and then he shortly thereafter got killed in an accident. So it's just sitting there.
I'm gonna be in southeastern Maryland this weekend.
Hey, Cody is already looking for it on the internet to see if he can buy it.
I'm sure Dusty will buy it from you.
No. No, it's one of those things it's a one-off deal. Nobody would touch it. When we broke down on the side of the road, you sat there until you got it running again. Couldn't do that without Dad, so.
We'll all come down when we do the shop tour with it. It'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
I might have PTSD if I see that thing.
We'll see Tim huddled in the corner, just rocking back and forth. No.
He's holding the golf clubs. Those are the same.
Yeah. Right.
We'll present a tea time before we bring it around the corner.
Okay.
That's right. It'll actually be your golf cart for that day.
We can. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Tim will be a fifth of Siesta Key rum deep by like the fifth hole.
I would be very quickly if that thing shows up.
We don't want to. after all the shit that Tim has did, we don't want to be the ones to kill him, okay, guys?
Right. Right.
I don't want to be responsible for that.
Maybe I do want to show up with it like that, because then he plays one fairway over with me.
Right? True.
What if it's the opposite fairway? What if you've got a hook and he's got a slice?
You're in trouble.
We'll work that out. We'll work it out.
I don't know if you can work
I suck
that
bad
out
enough.
on
I'll
the
just
spur
turn
of the
around and swing the
moment.
club the other way. It won't matter.
Yeah.
You're with a baseball bat, Charles. What are you saying?
Tennis racket. That way you get the elasticity of the of the strings.
I got a lacrosse stick too. Can I use that?
Maybe.
Oh, that is a true story right
Oh
there.
my
too.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I was
All right. Tell that
He
one,
didn't get
please.
busted. Did not get busted. We were in St. Louis, and Mom and I walked over to the Art. We were at Busch Stadium, and he thought if I take this road, it'll go straight to the Arch, but it dropped right into the fast lane of I-70. So here he is on his Honda 50, and he had to go to the next exit to get off. Somebody, I guess a passerby said, "What do you think you got, a Harley?"
If they only knew.
There was a turbine.
Yeah, if they only knew.
Oh, Dad loved his mini trail though.
Still have it.
Yep.
Do you really?
I was just looking at it yesterday.
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
rigged up his wagon that he hooked on the back so we could haul our fuel jugs with it.
Does it run? Does it run and drive?
The carburetor will need fixed, but yeah, it's perfect.
It ran when we put it away.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
he
you
used to
guys
be
are the
friends
only
with the
kids
largest
in-
Honda dealer in Ohio area, and when he drag raced, he would. It was called Rick Case Appreciation Day, and he would rent the drag strip for motorcycles only, and we'd go with one of the jets, make some exhibition runs, and Dad get a new motorcycle every year.
Please tell me one of those events was at a time when it was still in conjunction with EJ Potter doing what he did.
Oh yes.
Oh.
I've had one of the. I'll tell about my charmed life. I used to go to the aircraft junkyards with my dad and EJ Potter. It doesn't get any better than that.
Good Lord.
I was at a. Oh, this is the best story. We were out in Canada, and me and EJ went out for lunch, and I paid my bill. EJ went to pay his bill with a $20 bill, and that's when our money was worth more. And I'm only like 17, 18 years old. And the lady won't give him exchange. She goes, if you want exchange for your money, you got to go down to the bank. So EJ says, okay, I'm going to go. She goes, you can't go there. You haven't paid your bill. So he goes, I'm going to leave this kid here as collateral. I'll be back. EJ left me there as collateral. EJ was a great guy.
That's awesome.
Tim and Dad were very good friends.
Yeah, who would have been your dad's bestest friend over the years?
Ed Snyder, his guy he grew up with and was with him on the land speed cars. It was amazing. Dad had a lot of friends from drag racing, and when he decided to go tractor pulling, they all left. They wanted nothing to do with the tractor pulling. So we ended up with all sorts of new friends, and EJ was probably the one he hung with the most on tractor pulling.
Seems kind of a natural. They're maybe cut from a little bit the same cloth.
Oh yeah,
I would say that.
EJ was so cool.
Awesome.
That would have been a good one for you, but it's too late.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Boy, what I wouldn't give for 20 minutes to sit with that man.
He was a genius.
And the craziest part is I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
And I went to Central Michigan University, and I was supposed to be a teacher. I was supposed to be a math and history teacher. I'm not now. I'm involved in agriculture. But I did my student teaching in EJ's hometown.
Ithaca.
Yes, in Ithaca.
Yep.
While he was still alive, no less, I believe. When did he pass away?
Yeah. 8 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, that's about right.
Then absolutely, because I did my student teaching in 2002. So I could have, had I known, and I didn't, had I known, I could have, bailed out of the school when class was over and gone and hung out with a legend.
Oh yeah.
And I kicked myself left and right for knowing that now.
We came close. 2005, I had started working for Thumb Tractor Pulling Association here, and we had inducted EJ into the TTPA Hall of Fame. I believe it was 05, and the association had been in contact with his family. He was supposed to be there for that, but he was in Florida and wasn't feeling up to it, so I came close.
Well, I see a question here, Mike Steffen. That car is at our shop. That's going to be part of the museum down there on Pickle Road.
My guess is that Mike might be one of your first visitors when it opens.
I think so.
Mike, let me know when that happens. I might ride shotgun.
That's cool. That is cool.
I'll definitely be staying up on that. I'm about 3.5 hours from you guys, so when it's ready, I'll definitely come down.
Where you at?
I'm just north of Detroit.
Okay.
Well, I'm going too, and I'm an hour south of Toma, but I'm going too. We're bringing the cameras. That's all I'm saying. So
I guess I'll start because I'm the furthest west, and I'll just start picking people on the way.
So you're gonna fly to Maryland and buy the bus. Then you're gonna get.
Yeah, you can meet us from the east, and then we'll laugh at you as you try and drive it home.
And on the way out, my office is a bar, so it makes for a perfect day.
Perfect.
Well, I'll fly out and help you drive the bus. So
Yeah, there you go.
there.
Yeah.
This is starting to turn into like a family reunion kind of thing, like Chevy Chase, kind of National Lampoon sort of thing. So.
Oh my.
Yep.
I'm noticing that I need to apparently go to Tim's office now. Empty.
Uh-oh.
Yes, the ether can is empty.
Uh-oh. Now that's cool.
This was a gift over the week.
It's hard to get good starting fluid too anymore.
This was 109 proof, so it was not quite rocket fuel, but it was pretty okay.
Sometimes he mixes gasoline with his kerosene, Tim, if you know what I mean.
I to get rid of wasp nests, I used to use a can of starting fluid and a lighter. And we had some wasp nests at the shop. I went out and got a new can of starting fluid. I lit a light. You can't light this stuff. It's ridiculous.
No. No, Tim, here's the move. Brake clean.
Yeah, I know. That's
go
what
buy
I
yourself. There we go.
Yep.
Because not only that, then you can watch them suffer as they die.
No, I get the wings off and I let the ants get them. I hate those things.
I do too.
Unfortunately, you taught your son that trick too. So.
Yeah. Oh well. That's how we used to air up the tires on the tractors. A couple cans of starting fluid.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Put the air on it.
In a hurry.
When we started getting the real lightweight aluminum rims, we quit doing that though. The steel rims, it was okay. Aluminum rims, I've seen some of them that fold up if you do that.
Yeah.
That's an expensive mistake. They don't give those away.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to end it because everybody keeps saying, "Wait, there's one more story." But
wait, there's more.
Yeah, but wait, there's more.
We can always do a part 2 show. That we can do that sometime in the future.
Just don't do it when the Browns are on.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
how did they do? Did they win?
They're winning big time right now.
You're
it's 6 minutes ago, 32-13.
Well, they could.
I saw Tim look up a couple times. Now I thought maybe he's watching the Browns.
Well, way to go, Posh. Good job on the scheduling.
Hey,
thank you for humoring him.
Yep.
No problem.
He's a Browns fan. I'm a Lions fan. I don't want to hear it.
It's tough being a Browns fan.
It's tougher being a Lions fan.
Yeah, I'm a Lions fan too. It's tougher being a Lions fan.
Awesome.
Oh my.
Well, Tim, Dusty, thank you for this. I normally am not really at a loss for words, but tonight I'm just kind of in awe, and I just can't believe we had you on our show. And all the comments tonight about thanking everybody. And when you get the museum done, we're going to be there. I mean it.
It's going to be a work in progress. So when I get back in May, anytime, stop down.
Okay. It's on. So it is on. So my corporate office for work is in Cleveland. So
oh, okay.
Oh,
for Nations Lending. So I'll be out there. Whether it's all good. So
good. Look forward to
I'm
it.
always here. So.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys
Take
so
care,
much.
guys.
Charles, you're the man.
I'm nothing.
Fun.
That's them guys.
I
That's
know,
the story.
but the fact that you asked them to come on the show, that's huge.
That was fun.
I appreciate them doing it very, very much.
Yeah. Oh wow, that was so cool. So cool. I can't believe it. I mean, I remember watching them as a kid and on TV, and I don't know. It's kind of surreal. It's kind of surreal to have our polling heroes on our show with us now and the stories, you know. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So cool that they came on. So I seriously thought you were joking. I thought you were joking until tonight. Like, no, Jason, they're really coming on. I'm like, whatever.
When the private chat dings up and there's the next legend's name,
yeah,
we're gonna make it happen.
I think I saw Dusty make one pass, but I think that's it. I've seen Dave drive that tractor, Snyder, but I don't think I ever saw more than probably one pass, and I think it was I want to say it was Hudsonville.
Okay, yep. I know I saw them at Farm Show and Silverdome for sure.
Mm-hmm. Silverdome, probably when you were a little kid, right?
Yeah, up through like early teens, and I'm trying to remember the event that she referenced. That like the last one there, I want to say I was there for it. I'd have to do some digging and see what year that was.
Here, we'll just Dusty. What year?
Oh gosh, my kids were they were young, so I want to say it was about 17 years ago, maybe. But yeah,
like 98, 99-ish, somewhere in there. Or
yeah,
that
it was just monster trucks.
Okay, then I may not have been to that one.
Or was it in the 2000s? I can't be
sure. You're right. It might have been because I think the Lions moved out in 2001, but the building stayed open for a year or two.
Yeah, it was. I mean, my younger son was born in 2000, so he was about 5. Okay. Yeah, so about 2005.
All right, then I don't think I did go to that one.
I mean, this was the law. It had long been shut down and stuff. You know, on.
The last event I went there to, actually, they only had like 5 or 6 monster trucks, and they weren't doing the full monster truck program. They were just doing like a long jump deal with them. Well, the pulling, they had 2 tracks, and they were drag racing them.
Yeah.
Minis, and I forget what other classes now. It was, it's 25 years ago, but I do remember the side-by-side was deliberate. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Dusty, do you remember the last year you ran at Wellington, Ohio?
At Wellington, gosh. Oh, when was it, Randy? He's watching in the other room. It had to be early 2000s. I'm trying to think. Because I did go there without my dad because Dad sold the tractor in 2000. So. Yeah, it had to be early 2000s.
Dusty, do you have like a trophy room at home?
No, I have like one trophy. I do have some toolboxes and stuff, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot of trophies at all. And Dad, he would take his trophies and he'd sit them outside the shop at lunch, and we'd come back from lunch and they'd be gone. So he gave away most of his trophies.
Oh,
but we did like the ones that were toolboxes and refrigerators, and that stuff was cool.
Wait, you got a refrigerator as a trophy?
Toma, yeah, Toma.
Really?
A big, like a 4 cubic inch or 4 foot cubic refrigerator for first place, a smaller one for second place, and they had something else for third that were donated by like the Puma store or something up there. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know if it was for sure the first night that Dave ran the Green Monster, but Emily City, which is a couple towns north here, was always very early in the season. And I remember him bringing it there that night, had the roll cage on, and it was blue. And it's like, this is weird. This is Twilight Zone. What are we doing?
That was it was hard to see it go.
Yeah, I imagine.
But I mean, that's when they were going to require the roll cage.
Yeah.
Dad said how he wanted to do the roll cage, and they said no. So he sold the tractor. And it's like, I took 2 weeks off to have my baby, and I come back and the tractor's gone.
Oh, boy.
Somebody told Art Arfons no.
Yeah.
That usually didn't go well for whoever said it.
Yeah. Like that Jake Paul fight the other night. So. Wow. Okay, Dusty. Thanks for jumping back on. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
She was hiding in the green room and you guys asked, so I thought, well, I'm just going to bring her on quick. So, Ryan, very important question for you. Where did you get your cup, your JD cup, Ryan?
You know, this was given to me by a good friend of mine from South Dakota. I don't know where he got it, but yeah, I'm not going to lie. That's the coolest piece of kit that I've gotten in a long time.
Look online. There's a company that does those because I've got the tall one, but it's a oily Caterpillar oil filter one.
Yeah, I've seen that too. So no, he gave me this this weekend actually. I needed a little bit of windshield time on Friday, and there's an auction coming up on Black Saturday or 2 days after Thanksgiving. A really cool John Deere collector's auction, and it just so happens I know the guy who's selling part of his collection, and so I called him. I said, Gary, I got to get out of the office. He's like, yeah, come on up. And so I did, and I went out, and because I'm going to write an interesting iron article. I've actually already started it. That should be out on Wednesday. Yeah, before I left, he handed me that, and he says, here, this will put your starting fluid or, maybe your ending fluid, keep it cold. And, well, I have proven that it keeps it cold. Works great. I guess I need to test it with coffee, but I'm more inclined to take their word for it and just
drink cold.
Keep putting bourbon in it.
Yep. My buddy Mark Fisher got me this for my birthday. It's coming up. My buddy from Tri-County, Roos, I gave your number. My big John, he loves all the John Deeres. He bought me an IH starting, so put my coffee in there.
Yeah, Mark texted me earlier. Mark, there was your answer. That's where the ether came from.
So cool. Diesels and Dark Corners is coming weekend, guys. Cody and Ryan are going to be down there with Doug and Kenzie. And I know I think Tony's coming down again from last year. Remember Tony, right, guys? Or my realtor buddy?
Yep.
I think he's giving you guys a ride, or is Doug picking you guys up? You guys got all that figured out yet? So.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Life is good.
Tony and Scotty, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
Isn't Scotty coming too?
Yep. The weather, the highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. It won't be as cold as last year.
Thank the Lord.
So excited.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Thank the Lord for that. Yeah, it was 29 degrees when we left on Friday night last year. It was warmer at my house in Des Moines.
Yeah, no, it was insane. So we did 3 lives with Ryan, and I had Will Sumner on last night, our announcer. We did a live with him last night. Got him to say some of his favorite lines. That was fun.
Did he explain any of them? Like the number of monkeys yanking on a crankshaft?
Not really, Ryan. I mean, he was kind of shy at first, to be all honest with you. And then he just said, I'm just more, Cody was watching. He goes, I'm just more kind of behind the scenes. I was rolling through your guys' photo albums from last year to show the people the quality of iron that they're going to see there. A lot of diesel truck guys, when they're chatting, kind of challenging each other and different things like that. It was fun. And then the
Did
power
anybody throw down money?
Somebody, Hank in the 2.6 class and Peabody were going back and forth a little bit because there was that meme when Hank won Shides. I'm trying to remember. Was it Cody Patrick that won Shides? I can't remember. I think Hank won Shides.
Hank won Shide.
Yeah. So there's somebody made a meme of Hank pushing a baby carriage with Peabody in there and somebody else. I forget who all it was, but it was funny.
I wonder what that meme's going to look like with Lane. pushing the baby carriage.
Well, so we brought up Lane, and somebody said, Cody Patrick said Lane's scared of the red Georgia clay. Because when Cody said somebody from Missouri's coming, I knew he meant Lane right away. So yeah, no, we had some fun. It'll be fun.
I think there's more. There's a lot coming.
Yeah.
So, and
Nebraska will be in the house. I know Missouri will be in the house.
Yep.
Texas is in
Multiple Missouri.
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't specifically talking one Missouri truck.
No, I know, but that's the one I think of for the 2.6 class. So
right.
I think Corey Peck's coming down too, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
Was the Armed Forces 2.6?
I don't know on that one, but I know like they have a whole 2.6 class group chat that's everyone talks back and forth on. So, but yeah, there's a whole bunch that are coming out there. So it'll be really exciting to see some of those kind of cross platforms. I guess I mean cross associations together because that's such a neat event.
Well, it's like what Gordyville kind of does. They get everybody together like this for this class. It's cool. Charles, what do you got going on? You're going to a race?
I'm going to All Truck Challenge at US 13 Dragway in Delmar, Delaware. It's similar format to Ultimate Callout Challenge, only it's meant to be street trucks. You got to dirt drag it and go 100-mile drive in addition to 8th-mile drag race, dyno, and sled pull. And there's some ancillary parts of the event as well that are added on. There's some no prep racing that's going to go on, some supplemental sled pulling classes, etc. But that's where we're going to be for the weekend.
Cool. Go back to Kibbins.
He just got up.
Seriously, dude, what time zone are you in? What time zone are we in?
Same. Charles, it's 11 at Charles's house. So
it is.
Yeah.
How many bourbons you had there, Roos? Because you were doing the old eyeball thing there, buddy. So
on purpose.
On purpose. Oh, on purpose.
I'm doing just like I'm doing this on purpose.
Oh, I love it. The mini truck and tractor pull at Dyersville. Yeah, Chandler's going down to that. He'll see Blake Howell's going up there to the toy show.
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of. Whoa, wait, maybe I don't. Maybe I better keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of it today. So
they're
pretty neat. But I'm gonna let Blake roll that one out. Got it. Yeah, and then Thursday we're doing diesel super stock trucks, right, Charles?
That's the plan. I'm going to probably join it in progress if I can get through TSA quickly enough, and then I'll do it from in the airport, I guess.
Get pre-check, baby.
Shane, have you gotten your competitor yet? You can text me if you want to. I sent Wyatt a suggestion.
No, yeah, Ryan, I'm pretty sure because he.
I think we did. Yes.
Andrew.
Schulte said that Ryan said he's a good guy, so I said, yeah, we're good. So
he is a good dude, and actually, he sold his truck to Jamie.
Yes. Yep. The general.
And Cody and I followed it home
from Louisville,
which was weird. Like, why is that truck headed that way?
Yeah, that truck's about 9 miles from my house right now, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I hope Doug and Hope have a great time at SEMA. I don't know how they can't. When he sent me a picture hanging out with John Force yesterday, I was like, you.
Yeah. Awesome. That's definitely a bucket list NHRA race to get to is the fall Las Vegas. Definitely we need to get to that one.
Is that the 4-wide one or was that the spring one?
No, 4-wide's a spring race, and I'll be honest, I have zero interest in the 4-wide.
Okay.
No. I'd like to see it as a novelty once. But if I'm going to see it as a novelty once, I would rather see it. Where was it? Charlotte?
Yeah.
Z-Max? That's where I would rather see it.
I've only ever been to Brainerd. So that's back when my uncle Paul was on.
I've never been to an NHRA event ever.
Do you remember the Speed of Light dragster, Charles? 80s, Michael Brotherton?
Yes.
My Uncle Paul, who's got that. I told you, you guys, I know Bruce has met Uncle Paul. I think Cody has.
Yep.
He has a front engine nostalgia dragster, Charles, and it's called the Spirit of Tulsa. So when I was in Madeira 2 weeks ago, he was in Bakersfield. We were like 120 miles apart.
So he was at the hot. That's another hot rod reunion's another bucket list.
So, Cackle Fest, don't they do one of those?
I think that's
Saturday
at
night?
March meet in the spring.
In Bakersfield, or is it in Pomona?
No, they do a big one at the March meet in the spring
Okay.
in Bakersfield.
Personally,
Anywhere you get nitro front engine dragsters, you get Cacklefest whenever at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, they just.
I mean, heck, we had it in Des Moines at Good Guys this year, I think.
yeah.
We should go to a race. Schulte just commented going to Joliet. That would be like the most central one for all of us, Charles. That wouldn't be that bad of a run for you, would it?
No, it wouldn't. Just making sure it's an open weekend to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be fun to go do that.
The 2023 calendar is out, so we can look in that.
Gary Brady.
And I already know what all my travel dates are for next year at this point anyway. So
EJ answered the phone when I ordered his book from an ad in the Polar magazine.
Wow.
That's cool. Gary's watching on YouTube tonight. I love it.
Personally, Vegas. The next thing I want to do in Vegas is Formula One next fall.
I'd be interested in that, Cody.
Yep.
Joliet isn't open. It's during the Polar. Yep, we're definitely not going to Joliet that weekend then. So.
Yeah, that isn't going to work.
Pullers Championship.
Yeah. So for those of you who are going and not going to the Pullers Championship, shame on you. But please give the NHRA our best regards and tell Brian Alonis that he missed a better show a couple hours south.
Yep.
We could look at Memphis and Norwalk too for next summer. That might be good.
What's this? Jason, you on board for the WW indoor pool, aka coming? What's that he talking about, guys? Sorry. WW indoor pool. Don't know. Wild West?
I think it's the other WW that we from out east.
Are you on board for the WW? Like Zelwood?
No, I think Will's putting something on.
Oh, I'm not doing anything with Will. So
no.
Will does his thing. So good luck, buddy. I'm sure he'll be fine.
I hope he doesn't try and run those big, tall monster trucks indoors.
I don't know.
They have done that at one of the North Carolina ones.
Are you for real?
Yeah. Davidson, North Carolina?
That's terrifying.
Yeah, they've done it.
Yikes.
Yeah, we're helping promote Zelwood, the Zelwood Super Bowl, I think February 3rd and 4th. That's all I got booked out in the next year so far. So Thomas Kimmon says Lebanon, Missouri. I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah, the locale has not been, I don't know if it's firmed up or released. It's probably been firmed up, but not released as of yet. I do remember seeing something about that. It's like every gas-powered truck class kind of under the sun, and I say that respectfully. I'm not bagging on it. I know there's street stock and pro stock and yada yada yada. There's everything. There's a stock two-wheel drive truck class, I believe.
Mod gas, cheater stock.
Yeah. And if you're gonna find any of that, you are going to find it in Missouri. I mean, Missouri is. I think it's the spiritual home of gas truck, 4x4, and two-wheel drive gas truck pulling. It is the home. Pro mod, maybe not. Super, run what you brung, crazy long wheelbase blower trucks, no. But it's. I mean, I believe it's a stated fact that every fourth barn in the state of Missouri has at least one pro stock gas truck in it.
One
and all
ship
it really needs, huh?
One ship.
What?
When is ship? The dates, Charles?
Checking.
Third weekend, I think.
Jan?
Yeah.
What are the dates?
Yeah.
18th through the 20th, I believe.
Yeah, this is the same weekend. This is January 19th through 21st in Lebanon, Missouri. Kimmons just sent me the poster. So he did a screenshot, so I can't blow it up. So, but yeah, it's 6,200 DOT two-wheelers, hot stock. Pro Stock 4-wheel drive, Pro Street, Pro Stock 2-wheelers, small block Super Stock, 6200 Super Street Stock 2-wheel drive, Super Modified 2-wheel drive, and Country Boy Street Stock. So
I would like to know what Country Boy Street Stock is.
that's our Run What You Brung, I'm guessing, Bruce. So.
Must be leaf sprung, no traction bars on boggers. I don't know. I'm just making it up.
Charles, but you got
at least one blown Monroe shock.
Ratchet straps.
REO Speedwagon coming out of one Krakow speaker. Sorry, we are not bagging on your pull or Country Boy stock.
Oh, ship is the weekend before, guys. Ship is January 12th through the 14th.
Yeah, I was just checking that. Yes, that's true.
I got to get Tucker on once he slows down farming a little bit. We got to start promoting that hard. So
I talked to him a week or so ago. He's got some ideas for the show that are going to be interesting. One in particular, when we get him on, we'll say what it is. But one as an announcer, I'm going to have a lot of fun with because it gives me instant access to an information stream that no announcers had access to before. I'll tease it that way.
Well, that's not fair. So.
Yeah.
Are you going to ride along?
It doesn't apply to every class. I'll say that's the only other hint I'll give.
He is going to ride along. This is going to be amazing.
A twin seat dragster.
No, Andy, it doesn't require flat bill hats and Country Boy Street Stock. You got to have the mailbox curve on it. Got to go looking for that check somehow.
Andy, I'm wearing this hat just for you, buddy.
Well, Charles, good luck to you this weekend. Ryan and Cody represent well at Diesels and Dark Corners. My wife surprised me with a trip to Key West for my birthday. So peace out, homies. So, which reminds me, Charles, what are you doing next Monday night? I'd like to give you a little bit of a notice for once instead of 3 or 4 hours at a time.
Next Monday, I'm probably going to be right here on this show.
Okay, cool.
I'm doing the red eye back on Monday morning, so I don't know how functional I'm going to be, but I'll probably be on.
Long as you can turn it on, Charles, that's all that matters.
Okay, I think I can manage that.
Yep. Who do we need to get lined up next? Who do you got laying in your pocket there, Posh? We should let Roos and Cody snag some people out of Diesel's Dark Corners, maybe?
It's going to be nobody for next week, because like I said, I'm going to probably be like the zombie who just occupies the seat and clicks buttons.
Okay. Roos, Cody?
We can work on something.
Get some characters from Diesel, get some winners from Diesel's Dark Corners or somebody fun. So.
Yep. We can do that.
Cool. Roos, you're stroking your beard. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to elaborate on that?
Well, it's up to you.
I'm just thinking about who we might be able to pull in.
I like it. I like it a lot. Well, guys, Charles, thanks again. Tim and Dusty, that was awesome.
No problem.
Cody, good luck with the bus. I think that's going to be neat that you're going to own the Green Monster bus. That's very nostalgic, and I like it.
If you can score that one, I'm going to go see if I can weasel my way into the Wild Thing Jimmy.
I thought you were going to say something about you're going to see if they'd sell the Honda 50. Because I was like, no, that's going to
No.
With the wagon, the haul the stuff, the chair and everything in, it's awesome. Yeah.
No, but I know where the Wild Thing straight truck is hiding. Just got to convince the owner to give it up.
We've talked about this. I remember this.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
So real quick, those tires, that's amazing. But the friction comment, which one have you made? That friction versus that was
it's friction, not traction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can we post that? Can we pop that back up there and just pay a little respect to the mullet?
I don't know where it went. What did I do wrong? Charles, do you have that picture still?
Yeah, hang on. Coming right up. Uh-oh, where did it go?
I don't see it. Did I delete it?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, man.
I
was starting to clean it up, Charles. Now I don't know. I think I accidentally deleted it. Is there a junk box on here?
Tim Wyden, I don't know if you still have the mullet. You probably don't. but it was legendary.
Hold on.
You got your computer, Charles?
I do. I just got to find it.
But that looks like a turf tire, like it's something you'd see like at an asphalt.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like Art hung out with a bunch of Alice Chalmers guys for like a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know how 220s and D21s and 80 50s and 70s. Yep. I mean, that was like, to be one of the cool Alice Chalmers kids, you had to have, ginormous turf tires on the front. And now we pay respects to the mullet.
They're cool again.
Long
Ryan.
live it. Huh?
They're cool again. I don't know if anybody told you.
Oh, I know.
Ryan's got the front mullet going already.
We can call it the frullet.
The
frullet.
All right, fellas.
No, I missed him. I haven't seen him in ages. Next time I get back home, I'm gonna have to stop over and just invade the house. He's the only person that I've ever met who's named one of his children, actually his only child, after a motor.
Mm-hmm.
Can anybody tell us in the comments what the name of his child is without going and peeking at his profile?
My first guess was Allison.
Yeah, that would be correct.
Right.
And that is actually why she was named that. And she knows it, and she's completely okay with it.
There's a lot of Esdens out there because of Mr. Lane. A lot. And Andy's awake. Holy shit! Just noticed Charles' T-shirt. Very nice.
I can't see it.
Ed Pink Racing Engines.
Nice. I like it. You still
the old master.
Are you still a member of that? What is the vintage T-shirt of the month club?
Red Line Shirt Club.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I'm not currently, but I'm thinking about starting it back up.
If they did fat guy sizes, I would consider that. But
I think they do. It's whatever size you want. And once they're every month, once they're done printing them for the month, that's it. There's no back orders, no getting one. It's just they run them for that month based on the sizes they have on their sheet. That's it. Yeah, I kind of shut it off for a few months, just there for I don't know, probably a better part of a year now, because my dresser was getting over full. But I think it's time to turn it back on.
Yeah, you used to have some kind of cool stuff.
I saved some of the better ones. I didn't keep all of them, but I've got a few still. This being one of them. This might be the oldest one I've saved.
Cool. Night, fellers.
See ya.
Yes.
See ya. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you need any Kawasaki parts, go to KawasakiPartsWarehouse.com. Their name's on the side of my trailer, and I need you to go buy some stuff from them. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.
Well, Judy, you got your wish. Here it comes, the Green Monster.
Yep. Tim Arfons is driving the Green Monster. He's from Akron, Ohio, and his father is the famous Art Arfons of the legendary Green Monster fame.
Well, they just fired it. Look at the fire just come out of this. You want to roast some marshmallows?
Ooh, it looks like the 4th of July.
The Green Monster, Tim Arfons, ready to make his pull. The pull that he has to beat is over 173 feet, so it's going to be tough. Here he goes. He's got it up in the air, but not by much.
Well, he's got to practically do a full pull in order to win.
Wouldn't it be great to see a full pull with this jet-powered machine? We may just have it here. Look at it. He's still going.